So, do you want to know if med beds are a thing? Did you see that briefly Donald Trump, our president, put out a brief AI constructed video about med beds and then quickly deleted it? And I thought, well, this is my wheelhouse. I'm going to talk about med beds. And is this a reality? Are we hiding this for you in the deep recesses of the hospital behind two locked doors? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. Hi, if you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Andrea O'Connor, where we talk about very interesting things. And I thought this was very interesting because a couple of my patients and myself have been talking about med beds for a long time. And now the president releases a snippet about it. And it's important that we go over, is this reality? Okay. I'm a little under the weather right now. So I'll apologize now for my hoarse throat, and I may need to take sips through this. So if you didn't know, Donald Trump, our president, posted an AI-generated video. I mean, it looks AI if you've looked at it yet, on his Truth Social account, which appears like a fake Fox News segment hosted by his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, where he's talking about med beds as a revolutionary healthcare solution. He claims that it can cure disease, reverse aging, grow back a human limb, and that med bed cards will be available. So think about registering for that. And this is free for all Americans using this technology. I have to check if, my mic's on. I had to check if it's on. So the med beds are supposedly based on this suppressed quantum medical technology that would overhaul our U.S. healthcare system. Okay. President Trump quickly deleted the post shortly after sharing it, but it already spread widely, and now we're all talking about it. And I really wanted to talk about it because this is what I have to stay current every year on my continuing education credits, or CEUs. I am a family practice physician. I work in Arizona. I currently work full time. And of course now, because we have upper respiratory viruses going around, that's why I'm a little sick today. But let's talk about that. So what are med beds? Yeah, this is what we have been told to by the public. Well, it relies on a type of quantum computer AI to help with diagnosing and seeing what's wrong with the body. And it apparently is using things like quantum healing, alien-derived tech, and saying it can cure any illness, regrow human limbs, reverse aging. And there's even some articles talking about resurrecting the dead. Yeah, it goes so down a rabbit hole with it. So, okay, what's really going on? Well, from what I know, and in the hospital, I'll just say the most valuable resource we have in the hospital right now is if you happen to have an amazing diagnostic abled doctor, and if you have a great medical team, nurses, techs, pharmacists, then you're really, really lucky, because I feel like still it's the human involvement that is the most important part that's going to determine whether you got it out of that hospital or not. If you have someone that is not in it for the right reasons and already captured in some type of ideology, and that's all I'll say about that, then you're not as lucky. I'll just say that. There's all different types of humans in every type of field. But anyway, back to med beds. So our current technology relies on prosthetics, human organ transplants, stem cell therapies, tissue engineering, and other genetic testing to look, for example, the right type of chemotherapeutic to use for a certain type of cancer and things like that. We even do blood draws to look for, it's called liquid biopsies, to see if the DNA from a tumor is still circulating in the bloodstream. And that's really cutting edge medicine as well. However, humans lack the natural regenerative abilities to grow back a human limb. We do see that in salamanders and starfish. Yeah, those animals can grow back a human limb. But our stem cells can differentiate and heal. Therefore, like, you can enhance wound healing, or after an amputation, enhance it with healthy scar tissue, but you can't regenerate a limb because our human body, it just doesn't work like that. Now, could you have, I mean, I guess the benefit is a an evolutionary trade-off, which favors we have rapid closure of wounds and healing versus perfect regrowth of a limb. And then our bodies can adapt to its new form that it has. We do not have the technology to grow a human limb. And if we are using technology like that, it's not human. I'll say that. Yeah. So we rely on signaling molecules like FGF needed for full limb regeneration without risking uncontrolled growth like cancer. So yeah, there's a lot of research and studies going into stem cells and what they can't do. Can we grow a synthetic organ in the lab? That's been researched for a long time now. And that's already been in use in some ways. I'm not going to get into that right now. That's not the point of this. But what could be used as a med bed? Well, infrared light. Infrared light is really healing. I've talked about that with using incandescent light in your home. There's a video on that if you want to watch it. Heat, acupressure, hyperbaric chambers using oxygen, if they're used in the right way, because they can be very dangerous. So right now, using things that are more energy with infrared and heat and acupressure points and massage and oxygen, yeah, I could see you could create a med bed around that. If they're using other technology, I guarantee you it is not being used in standard medicine. But the only thing that I think about, because I love to keep an open mind, there's a tiny percentage of my mind thinking, if you told me before iPhones and iPads came out, right, when we were still using, the phones with the cords, rotary, dial-in, all that, and the age of AOL and those huge computers. If you told me that we were going to be walking around with little mini tablets this thin that could do everything a computer could and phone, and you could see them on the screen, I'd be like, there's no way. Maybe my grandchildren will see that. I never thought we would see the technology that we're seeing that we see now. So is it possible that there is medical technology that the mainstream medicine, those of us in the front lines of healthcare, don't know about? Yeah, there is a percentage of my mind that thinks, yes, there could be technology that the military has that we don't know about yet. But I would think that regrowing a limb, like I said, has to use, let's face it, it would have to be involving AI and robotics, which in a way is a form of alien technology. And I still think we're decades away from that. But look at Neuralink. I mean, Elon Musk is having success with these ALS patients being implanted with the Neuralink AI chip, right? So, yeah, I mean, do existing med beds exist in hospitals right now? We're keeping it from you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not a thing. But I do think the door is open for AI and robotics to really become a part of human medical care, and then you just have to decide, is that for you? Because that's a whole nother video, right? Okay, that's my take on med beds. Thanks for being here. And thanks for putting up with my hoarse voice.